What are you going to do for the remaining 40 years after you retire at age 50? Japan's response to an aging society. In the midst of Japan's progressively aging society, a demographic shift is evident, with nearly 35.89 million individuals aged 65 and above making up a significant portion of its 126 million population. This demographic evolution has propelled the nation to innovate and implement diverse programs targeting the employment and pension aspects of senior life. These initiatives are a strategic response to the inherent challenges an aging population brings, notably a diminishing workforce and the consequent pressure on the social welfare infrastructure. Recognizing these issues, Japan has proactively adopted policies designed to motivate the elderly to continue their participation in the labor market, thereby reinforcing their financial independence and stability as they progress into retirement years. This approach not only addresses immediate socio-economic concerns, but also sets a precedent for other nations facing similar demographic transformations. Aging in Japan and South Korea. Recently, a Japanese broadcast brought to light the remarkable story of a 95-year-old senior citizen still actively engaged in work, emblematic of Japan's aging yet industrious population. Tragically, in February, an octogenarian working until his final days passed away, showcasing the resilience and dedication of Japan's elderly. South Korea, paralleling Japan's demographic trend, is anticipated to see over 30% of its populace surpass 65 years of age by 2035. This imminent demographic shift has sparked debate. Some believe Korea's dynamic workforce could avert the economic stagnation Japan faces, but there's growing concern that South Korea might be treading a similar path. Despite cultural and economic differences, the parallels between the two nations are striking, suggesting South Korea might experience a future akin to Japan's without proactive demographic management. Reflecting on Japan's past, in 1989, it boasted 14 of the top 20 global companies, showing its economic might. However, a blend of policy missteps, stagnation in innovation, and a rigid adherence to traditional practices have led to Japan's current predicament. This serves as a cautionary tale for South Korea. Without the implementation of robust and forward-thinking policies to combat the challenges of an aging population, South Korea's future remains uncertain. In 2022, the global corporate landscape saw no Japanese firms among the top 15, with Samsung being the lone South Korean representative. Both nations grapple with similar issues: aging populations, declining birth rates, rising instances of elderly suicide, and increasing numbers of unoccupied homes. These challenges are not exclusive to Asia and call for comprehensive, effective solutions to ensure a sustainable future. Notably, South Korea and Japan occupy alarming positions in global fertility statistics, with South Korea leading and Japan ranking third in low fertility rates. They also hold the top spots in the childlessness ranking within Japan, indicating a diminishing youth population. Regions like Yamanashi, Wakayama, and Nagano in Japan, with high vacancy rates, stand as stark reminders of the potential future implications of these demographic trends. This situation clearly highlights the necessity for both nations to adopt strategic long-term policies to address the multifaceted challenges posed by aging populations. The future sustainability of South Korea and Japan hinges on their ability to adapt and innovate in response to these unprecedented demographic changes. As of 2021, Akita Prefecture has the highest proportion of people aged 65 and over, with 38.1% of its population falling into this age group, followed by Kochi Prefecture at 35.9% and Yamaguchi Prefecture at nearly 35%. In fact, if you take a stroll around Akita Prefecture at night, you may come across many empty houses that are difficult to spot during the day without any lights. In some areas, only 2 or 3 lights may be on in an entire apartment building, making it appear dark and deserted. A 65-year-old bento factory worker says in a Japanese TV interview, "You have to work until you die." In Japan, there's a prevailing sentiment among senior citizens that solely relying on pensions for financial sustenance is unfeasible. This skepticism is often expressed in strong terms, with many seniors declaring emphatically, never, never, never. Similar concerns are echoed in South Korea, where depleted pensions are a growing worry. Despite assurances from the National Pension Service and the government about securing retirement through pensions, public confidence remains low. The situation in Japan is particularly dire, with yearly decreases in pension amounts. Consequently, some elderly individuals are constrained to subsisting on just 2 meals a day or relocating from urban to rural areas for economic survival. Yet this issue persists without resolution. Data from the Japanese Ministry of Health, Labor and Welfare indicates a troubling forecast. The national pension is expected to shrink from approximately 58,600 yen, about $580 in 2059, to 55,000 yen, about $550, about in 83. Those belonging to the Yutori generation, born between 1987 and 2004, and educated under a system with reduced hours and subjects, face a bleak prospect of receiving a mere 58,000 yen per month upon reaching 65. A November report from the Korea Development Institute, KDI, titled Policy Issues to Expand Fiscal Space After COVID-19, revealed a startling projection. South Korea's pension fund is on track to be insolvent by 2036 and entirely depleted by 2054. This spells a grim future for South Korean seniors. Additionally, a 2022 report by Goldman Sachs forecasted negative economic growth for South Korea by 2060, painting a bleak picture for the current generation in their 22nd and 32nd. As of 2020 in Japan, the employment rate among those over 70 was 45.7% for men and 29.4% for women, illustrating a reality where many feel compelled to work until the end of their lives. This sentiment is shared by elderly Grab drivers in Singapore, who often express a lack of faith in pensions, instead finding solace in the ability to work until their final days. In examining the dynamics of Japanese society, it becomes apparent that there is a notable increase in both crimes against the elderly and crimes committed by them. This trend can be partly attributed to the growing proportion of elderly in the population. In societies where the elderly population increases from 10% to 30%, it's logical to expect a corresponding rise in the number of crimes involving this demographic. Significantly, many of these offenses by the elderly are driven by necessity, such as shoplifting basic necessities from supermarkets and convenience stores due to financial hardships. This situation has sparked considerable societal debate in Japan, focusing on the need for sustainable work options for the elderly, rather than relying solely on pensions. This discourse gained further momentum with the success of the book Life Strategies for the 100-Year-Old Age, authored by Linda Gratton and Andrew Scott. The book's popularity in Japan and globally reflects the widespread challenges faced by aging societies, including declining birth rates and dwindling pensions. The book posits a critical perspective on longevity. If reaching the age of 100 means living without adequate health, economic stability, or savings, then longevity could be seen more as a burden than a gift. This challenges the traditional life trajectory of education, career, and retirement around the age of 55 or 60, which is increasingly becoming impractical. Many people now find themselves retiring unexpectedly early or never reaching the traditional retirement age. Even for those who retire at 60, there could be 2 more decades of life to plan for, assuming a life expectancy of at least 80 years. Despite this, many continue to adhere to outdated life models, striving daily without preparing for a potentially lengthy future. This scenario indicates the need for a paradigm shift in how life post-retirement is viewed and planned, especially in societies facing the challenges of an aging population. As described, Japan's present is roughly a picture of what life will be like in the future. In the current era of 100% responsibility, relying solely on a pension for financial stability is not a viable option and can lead to dire consequences. If you run out of savings, your company suddenly goes out of business, or you get an unexpected illness or accident, your life can fall apart faster than you think. 55, 60 years old, Even if you're retired, you should work unless you have a lot of money. What you did in your 20 seconds and early 50 seconds may become your specialty. But don't assume that the same skills will take you from your mid-50s to your 80s. Certifications and degrees are important, but it's what you can actually do with them that counts. Reskilling or retraining is necessary, and preparation for it should not be done in the mid-50s, after retirement, but should be done early, in several stages of life, while thinking about it and watching the world go by. When you're older, you think you're going to get by without too much of a care, but life is longer than you think. In Japan, the number of crimes against the elderly is increasing every year, and this is not a unique situation. Crimes against the elderly are also steadily increasing, often targeting money and property, and taking the form of theft, robbery, and fraud. In addition, as the number of elderly people increases, the number of crimes committed by elderly people is steadily increasing. Some thefts are committed simply because of financial difficulties, but self-destructive crimes caused by loneliness, depression, etc. are also steadily increasing. Loneliness is already a common occurrence, and poverty in old age is now commonplace. If you don't have your own home, there are many difficulties such as rent, but even if you have your own home, there are also problems such as spending a large amount of money to repair the old house, which is becoming a social problem. Taken together, these issues point to an urgent need to redesign life after 50. Experts in the field of aging societies have a lot in common. The importance of health. As previously stated, living a long life without good health and financial stability can be a burden. In order to maintain good health, it is crucial to prioritize exercise, staying informed, and avoiding excessive alcohol consumption and smoking. While nutritional supplements can be beneficial, it is equally important to maintain a well-balanced diet and regular exercise routine. Regrettably, financial struggles can hinder one's ability to maintain a healthy lifestyle, even if they have the desire to eat well, take supplements, and exercise regularly. This can result in a harmful cycle that is difficult to break free from. Nevertheless, it is essential to recognize the significance of adopting a consistent lifestyle that includes regular exercise and promptly discontinuing unhealthy habits such as excessive drinking, overeating, and smoking. Exercise not only enhances physical health but also contributes to mental well-being, which is crucial, given the direct correlation between cognitive stimulation and acquiring new skills. The importance of lifelong learning and retraining. In today's modern era, continuous self-improvement and keeping up with the times have become increasingly crucial with the end of fixed-term contracts. While fixed-term contracts may have previously provided workplace stability, it can now be argued that such a concept is no longer applicable. As previously highlighted in my article titled "The Price of a Company is Rising, but the Market is Falling," it is easy to fall into the trap of complacency and assume a sense of superiority when working in a public institution or a relatively stable organization with a guaranteed retirement age, with constant promotions and authority over subordinates. It is crucial to carefully consider your options as an individual after leaving the organization. Waiting until the last minute to prepare may result in missed opportunities. There are unfortunate stories of individuals who are treated like bank managers and lose their retirement savings, which highlights the importance of being proactive. It is crucial to act early and prioritize urgency, or identify a passion and start planning accordingly. To remain relevant and successful, it is essential to maintain a continuous flow of development rather than being stagnant. Focusing solely on current strengths is insufficient. It is crucial to anticipate future needs and develop necessary skills promptly. This concept applies equally to large corporations, which risk collapse if they fail to envision the future of their business and rely solely on current success. Think about the latest technology trends and future relevance. Technology is advancing and evolving at an unprecedented rate, with new developments emerging every day. Even top global investment banks are not immune to the need to adapt and change. For example, Goldman Sachs, a leading investment bank, recently reported its worst quarterly results in 11 years as of January 2023. falling short of market expectations. However, since 2003, the company has been actively reorganizing and restructuring its operations to stay relevant and competitive in the rapidly changing marketplace. The memory of Goldman Sachs' decision to terminate 598 traders and retain only 2 in 2017 remains vivid in my mind, and it was indeed a shocking event. It is difficult to fathom the feeling of waking up in the middle of the night in a state of panic, realizing that nearly all of your 600 traders have been let go. While mass layoffs may have been inevitable for Goldman Sachs, as any company may become stagnant and collapse without keeping up with market trends and adapting accordingly, the emergence of Kenshi, an AI investment analysis program, should not be underestimated. Kenshi can complete the workload of 15 individuals in a month within a mere 5 minutes. The CFO of Goldman Sachs, Marty Chavez, is spearheading an ambitious strategy to overhaul the investment bank and turn it into Google of Wall Street. In pursuit of this goal, Chavez is working closely with the Kensho team, an artificial intelligence investment analytics program that is helping Goldman Sachs streamline its operations and stay ahead of market trends. Source: Twitter.com Goldman Sachs. It is true that labor flexibility is an important factor for companies to survive, but the implementation of Kensho has played a significant role in enabling Goldman Sachs to undertake mass layoffs. In addition, Goldman Sachs has also been leveraging Marquee, a platform that provides clients with access to analytics, data, content, and execution capabilities through a browser API. The platform also allows clients to access SCDB, Goldman's risk platform and pricing system. These technological advancements have enabled the company to stay relevant and competitive in the ever-changing market. Goldman Sachs Marquee. Goldman Sachs has shifted its recruitment focus in recent years towards highly skilled engineers and software professionals, deviating from their previous strategy of primarily recruiting top finance professionals. The bank's use of APIs, a standard protocol for software applications to communicate with one another without human intervention, has been critical in enabling data collection and analysis, which is then made available to both internal and external clients through digital platforms. In fact, the firm has redesigned its entire enterprise around these APIs and intends to continue doing so in the future. By allowing clients to directly access their data and analytics tools, Goldman Sachs aims to build stronger relationships with its clients and drive additional business. In the future, it is possible that Goldman Sachs will rely heavily on engineers and software specialists to operate and maintain their systems. This is one possible scenario among many, and it is already happening in the present and may continue to happen in other industries as well. The main takeaway from this situation is not the fact that Kensho had to carry out mass layoffs or made a tough business decision to stay afloat, but rather that technological advancements are causing a growing disparity between tasks that require human intervention and those that do not. If a job consists of repetitive, rule-based, or mathematical tasks that can be automated, it is highly probable that these jobs will no longer be performed by humans. Therefore, it is imperative that we keep ourselves up to date with technological trends and market shifts to prepare ourselves for the future. While mastering a skill through years of practice is valuable, it is equally important to stay current with rapidly evolving technological advancements and anticipate changes in the job market over the next 2 decades. One example of this is Goldman Sachs, a global investment bank where computer engineers make up nearly 25% of their 36,000 employees. The future of work will not only affect low-skilled labor, but also high-skilled positions that may become automated through the use of AI. Therefore, it is crucial to continuously gather and analyze information, develop new job skills, and stay abreast of technological advancements to succeed in the ever-changing job market. In early January, Goldman Sachs made an announcement regarding their decision to lay off 30,200 employees in 2023. Regrettably, this number is expected to rise in the future. The importance of human connection. Loneliness is a common issue that tends to intensify with age. An individual in their 70s, when asked by a younger person about their experience of aging, explain that they still feel the same, but they have noticed changes in the way they are treated and perceived by others. They feel less valued and marginalized despite still being active and present. As we age, it is crucial to not only consider acquiring new skills or finding new jobs, but also to plan for maintaining social relationships. Research shows that individuals who live alone are at a higher risk of experiencing loneliness and depression, and may become increasingly isolated as time goes on due to limited access to diverse information. It is important to maintain social connections not only for emotional support, but also for work and overall well-being. Business network. Effective communication is crucial for individuals at any level of society. Even if you have valuable insights or expertise, it's important to communicate them in a way that is easily understood by others. Poor communication skills can lead to misunderstandings, missed opportunities, and damaged relationships. In a business setting, it's particularly important to be able to communicate clearly and effectively with colleagues, clients, and other stakeholders. This requires not only being able to articulate your own thoughts clearly, but also being a good listener and understanding the perspectives of others. By continuously improving your communication skills, you can enhance your ability to build strong professional and personal relationships. Communication is a fundamental aspect of human interaction that is often taken for granted. Even those who may lack knowledge or expertise in a particular field can excel in communication skills, which can greatly impact their business network. Unfortunately, finding individuals who possess excellent communication skills can be challenging. In many cases, a business network is not a suitable environment for discussing personal matters, even with individuals with whom one has a long-standing relationship. It is crucial to understand the importance of effective communication in building and maintaining professional relationships, as misunderstandings and miscommunications can easily damage or destroy these relationships overnight. While personal relationships are important, business relationships are also crucial in life. Although they may not be as intimate, they often last longer and are based on mutual trust. It is possible to maintain a good business relationship even if you don't have a deep personal friendship. There are many instances where people who have only met briefly in a business setting have maintained a positive relationship for years based on mutual respect and trust. It's important to keep these relationships professional and not try to deepen them beyond what is appropriate. The importance of an open mind. Indeed, our ability to learn and adapt to new things ultimately depends on our open-mindedness. As we age, if we solely rely on our past experiences and don't remain receptive to new ideas, we won't be able to keep up with the ever-changing world and won't be able to embrace new technologies or relationships. Therefore, it is crucial to cultivate a flexible mindset that is open to new things, much like the flowing water. If we become too rigid or close-minded, we risk missing out on opportunities and experiencing regrettable opportunity costs. Constantly curious, adventurous, and flexible. It is important to recognize that the principles discussed here apply not only to individuals, but also to companies, organizations, societies, and countries. For instance, instead of relying on pensions to support individuals, governments should consider implementing effective policies and programs that help people acquire new skills. Similarly, businesses should move away from old-fashioned ways of doing things and focus on innovation and forward-thinking changes. It is crucial for individuals, companies, organizations, governments, and nations to have an open mindset, anticipate the future, and make necessary changes accordingly. Instead of imposing policies unilaterally, it is important to communicate with stakeholders, gather feedback, and prepare society for upcoming changes. By doing so, we can create a more prosperous and sustainable future for all. We are currently in an era where adaptability and change are crucial for survival. Similar to how those who continued to design their lives around being a coachman during the introduction of the Ford Motor Company faced inevitable extinction. The rapid pace of change in today's world means that failure to take an interest in the future and prepare for it in advance will lead to disaster and adversity rather than prosperity. Therefore, the question must be posed once more: are we willing to adapt and evolve in order to thrive in this era of constant change? So, Mr. Sato, if you retire at 50, what are you going to do for the next 40 years?